Irinka Britnell for the Englefield Residents Association. Irinka, welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you. Mine should be short and sweet anyway, so, well, maybe not so sweet, but short. Okay, I'm just really giving a report and a catch-up in our area, and I don't know how you can help, but hopefully you can. One, Linwood Village. In addition to our written submission, we would like to report to you on the current situation at Linwood Village and some other relevant matters. I was in the post shop on Monday and there were 3 to 4 beggars around each ATM machine across on Stamwell Road by the butcher's shop, standing intimidatingly close by. The girls in the post shop said it was a regular occurrence. Other people I spoke to also reported this happening more regularly. So there's a lot of beggars starting to congregate in the area. I personally would not go to that ATM or the butcher shop or any other shops on that side with those people sitting there. They were speaking in loud tones and some were drunk and eyeballing you. It is not fair that they are not being dealt with. It is neither helpful to the businesses nor helpful to the homeless to allow this situation to continue. The Christchurch City Council needs to work with these people to sort them out. 2, Worcester Street Cycleway audit was promised 1 year later. Has there been one, or when is there going to be one? The businesses here are struggling, and even more so since the partial closure of access by Fitzgerald Avenue and Worcester Street. The subway has just closed down on the busy Gloucester Street side by the bus stop. The one shop that did open for a short time has also closed down with no new businesses in sight. The tiny shops are also struggling, and with winter on the way, winter's coming, there is no viable businesses going to survive there. If you have done an audit, you will see the lack of sense on the design of the cycleway doing its C-curve. You've got the shop here, this is on the corner of Stamwell Road and Worcester Street, and that new block of shops. And on Worcester Street, the cycleway goes in little curves behind a berm and then back onto the road, then down another curve and back onto the road. And the C-curve is right in front. I mean, the C-curve should have been designed just a bit further up if you're going to have that C-curve, but it's right in front of the shops, which is just doesn't make sense. And I'd like, if there's an audit, that should actually be looked at and changed, because it's just silly. The sign pollution is ridiculously overwhelming as well, and we don't really need that many signs. People are quite sensible. Please come and look and check out the rest of this struggling shopping centre. The 2 shops have been empty in the new block on the Worcester Street side of Stamwell. Worcester Street side of Stamwell Road. And also 2 shops have been empty in the new block on the town side of Worcester Street since they were built. Malcolm from the new development on the Linwood side of Worcester Street is sorry he ever built those new shops, with one business closed and the other one struggling. We were told this expensive multi-million-dollar cycleway would be good for business. We said keeping Worcester Street open at Fitzgerald Avenue would be good for business. 3 years down the track, who is wrong and who is right? It is time that you, the Christchurch City Council, started listening to the people instead of just the advice from your officers' reports. If all those experts were so right, why do we see so much failure of the city and suburbs to cater to the needs of the people, e.g. parking and easy access for a start? You want us to give up our cars, but then you cut down the bus services. The city is having difficulty making sense anymore. New housing. We're not happy to see these large developments such as in Perth Street by Williams & Co and other companies in other places, which are not only compromising heritage but also a standard Kiwi way of life. by the Christchurch City Council allowing many deviances from the rules and compliances to give even less amenities like individual rubbish bins and cycle parks, never mind car parking availability. Don't you think that people living in the city will want to get into their car and drive to the country? At least make the developers stick to the regular rules, or do we need more rules to control this unfettered development of tiny pokey apartments with no allowance of space for hobbies or quality of life? 4, heritage trees. We'd like to see protections reinstated, at least on the trees that already had it, and there may be more. 5, rates increase. Poor people cannot afford it. All the experts and reports say we need to address poverty, including the Christchurch City Council, must do its bit by not increasing the rates and taking a pay cut yourselves, because that is what you are doing. When you make a rate increase, you are actually giving everybody a pay cut. Parking and shopping or doing business in the city, the Christchurch City Council has to do better. You're still making it too difficult to park as well as navigate the city. Until you make it better, easier, and really listen to the voice of the people, it's going to be a long, hard road to hoe. We have our backpackers and our visitors who drive report the same, that a lot of the time it is easier to just keep going than to stop, just as many of the locals are saying. Motorised scooters, people riding motorised scooters should definitely wear helmets. Makes sense if cyclists must wear them. So too should scooters. There have already been far too many accidents. And 8 is actually my own personal statement, so it's, that's the end of, take off the Englefield hat, and I just want to say this. That the Christchurch City Council needs to speak out against using poison as a solution. I'm appalled that seagulls are going to be poisoned, and I know that a lot of it's regional council, but you can make submissions, you can, be proactive. I'm appalled that the seagulls are going to be poisoned when their numbers have dropped by half since the 1950s. From what I understand after reading a notice at Le Bon's Bay the other day about poison bait in the area, was that it was deadly to dogs in capitals and not to eat any animals from the area. On the way in, we saw a native hawk feeding on a possum on the side of the road. Surely there is a danger of secondary poisoning if it's dangerous to dogs. It is the fault of humans for this imbalance in nature. We create the biggest environmental disasters. Cruel poisoning of any animal is not a fit and proper solution. Put a bounty on them, like the last century, and create some jobs. The fur of a possum is good and long-lasting. And they do not collect the poison bodies which will rot down into the ground and into our rivers. We are already on the brink of environmental disasters. The Christchurch City Council need to do more to help find less toxic and more environmentally friendly solutions sooner rather than too later. Thank you for listening, and I always hope you do.
Thanks, Irinka. Dion.
Yeah, thanks for the submission. I just wanted to say that on the Linwood Village and the begging issue, yeah, it's becoming, there's an increase right across the city at the moment, and we're unsure why. So I am catching up with the police on Monday just to talk about that and going down there and having a chat to see what can be done. And I am aware that there is some work being done around what the City Council can do, and we're going to have a catch up around that. So I'm more than happy to talk to you offline about that as well. And you know my views about the other stuff.
Yanni?
Yeah, thank you for your submission. In regards to Linwood Village and the issues that you're seeing there, have you noticed any sort of increase post the terror attacks? And have you had any thoughts about a response to the terror attacks, that things that may be needed in that community that you're seeing?
Increase in...
Just like the antisocial behaviour or the behaviour that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think I would relate it to the terror attacks.
I think it's confusing the other Linwood shopping centre near the mosque.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's increased. I think it's just coincidental, but yeah, it's...
I guess what I was really trying to, is there anything that you'd like to see us actually do in that area that you think would help?
I don't know, just be more proactive and trying to sort of like work out solutions for these people. it's a difficult one. They're homeless and often they're not cooperative, and I know that, you know, the council are only human and we're all kind of struggling with this. How do we deal with this? But just sort of trying to, you know, maybe get a working party on it and get, there is, yeah. So I really don't know.
Look, maybe Anne, could I invite you just
Sure,
to sort of perhaps comment and question if that's
Yes,
helpful?
from the work that has been done, and there is a lot, and it is an ongoing issue, and it will be the street begging issue. I can say hand on heart that there is no reason for anyone to be begging on the street. We have resources and support for people in the city. So the reason that they're there is not because they are needing the basics of life. So there is a reason that they're there. And I wonder if how much of a police presence there is in the area, whether that would help, whether the shopkeepers and those people who are feeling intimidated are actually calling the police, because I would suggest that would be a good thing to do. But be assured that we are very conscious of that. We want our communities to be safe, and so it would be great to continue to talk to you. We are planning to get together again, a meeting of all the stakeholders that are involved here. So we are working on it. But I would suggest strongly that the police are contacted at any time when people were feeling intimidated.
Yes, I'll go back to the post shop, because they're sort of a bit of a hub there, and there was sort of a bit of a discussion there, and there was talk about maybe there should be more reporting perhaps to the police. But I just thought I know it's, you know about it, but
They have the police on hotline.
yeah. It's a difficult one, but it's just really those people that are drunk and hanging around the ATM machines, and actually, you know, my husband Mike, he was lined up there with another guy the other day, and they don't actually try and grab you or anything, but they just make you feel guilty. They're trying to guilt you into maybe giving them some money or something.
It's intimidating, yeah. All right, well, look, thank you very much for your submission. Much appreciated, as always.
And best wishes for solving all the problems.
Yeah.